Hello, how are you? Yeah, so when it's Thursday, that I'm going to drop something in your spirit. So today I just want to share something with you, which is I've entitled it "Just Get Started." You know, yesterday I was on a Zoom call with a friend of mine, and then my friend I met here in Dubai 2 years ago. We met at church, and then we were just busy discussing on the dreams that we have and the things that we want to achieve. So one of the things we discussed was him. He wanted to open up a restaurant in New York. Yeah, he's in the US, so he wanted to open up a restaurant in New York, but he was kind of trying to think how to get started. How people think if at all he's going to have customers, if people will like his cooking. And then you know what? I did something crazy, which is like our friends usually do. I just asked him like to cook a meal for me, cook something so that I can be able to make judgments or advise him based on what I think. So once he had done that, it was very delicious, I would tell you. Yeah, but I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine and he's going to watch this. Yeah, of which he's going to watch this, but the food was good. The food was so good that even I was just kept on telling him, you just need to get started. Because for him, capital is not an issue. So the only thing he was scared of is just if at all how the public respond. Yeah, is it going to uh, get maybe also is one of other concerns that he had was his family members, are they going to be on board with the issue? So then I was just I just kept on telling him that you just need to go for this is your dream, just follow it and then you see what happens. And then so yesterday, because we lost touch, and then yesterday he just texted me on WhatsApp, asking me like talking about how my YouTube channel is doing, and then we talked about so many things. And one of the things he was so impressed was about how my YouTube channel is doing. And then he was like, it feels like yesterday when we talked about what we wanted to do, and then you started it. So I was so curious just to ask him if at all he started the restaurant business, and to my surprise, he didn't. I was so shocked because I thought my advice was so good to the point of when he's going to do it. But unfortunately, he didn't do it. And then he's still insisting on the same thing because he talked to his family members and his family members were not on board. So I was, which reminded me of, this is one thing that usually uh, drag us down. Aside from I've talked about procrastination, then I've talked about so many things that usually breaks our dreams down. And also this is one thing that also hinders us from living our dreams, because they like I keep on saying, there are no guarantees in life. And then at the end of the day, when you go to the cemetery, the only thing that you are going to be thinking about is, and the things that you are going to regret are the things that you didn't go for, the things that you didn't attempt to. Now let me just share something with you. When you just get started, there's a quote by Zig Ziglar which says that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So, when we look at our lives and at the things that most of the reasons why we also fail not to accomplish our dreams or to go after what we want is when we look at the yards, when we look at is it going to happen, and how is it going to happen? And those are the questions that we tend to ask ourselves over and over and over again. Like, for example, you want to start a business, like a friend of mine who still wants, because I thought my advice was good enough, and then it was like, I was so shocked. But anyway, because I even had to make that known even yesterday when we were busy, like on Zoom, like, you can't keep on living like this. At the end of the day, when a job is not something that we can rely on that to be there tomorrow. And when you look at this coronavirus, if we see that companies being closed, and so when you rely on a job, you find that at the end of the day, you lose it all. You're going to lose it all. And then jobs are there to help us work on our dreams. Jobs are there for us to polish our gifts. And so at the end of the day, when we look at where we are right now, the coronavirus has made it a level playing field. you know and if we talk about the platform of internet, the Zoom, when if we look at, let's just take a look at Zoom is now connecting people all over the world. Business is done on Zoom, money is made on Zoom. Imagine that. And then let's go a year or 2 years backwards, where there was no this case of coronavirus. This Zoom, not everyone heard of Zoom, and Zoom was not that much in the market. But the coronavirus, as even as much as we look at the coronavirus in a negative way, it has also brought about initiatives, brought about businesses that look at the mask business, where people are now have come up with a business of masks. People have come up with the sanitizer. People have come up with a temperature. Those temperatures where you need to check for temperature, whether the person might be showing some symptoms of coronavirus. Those people are now in business. So even as much as we look at the coronavirus, let's look at the positive side of it. The internet has made everything a level playing field. Like, Les Brown keeps on saying that we have now moved from brick and order to click and order. Everything's done on the net. Money is made on the net. Let's say you've been thinking of starting a business, you've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Many people have asked me, like, what challenges I've faced on my YouTube channel. It has not even grown to the level of my expectations but I'm so grateful to where it is right now. But I know it is yet to grow more than this. But when most of my friends I had, the ones we had the same idea with, even up to now, they're still on the level of where they are still thinking whether they should start or not. And some of the reasons are they going to, maybe their gifts, when they look at their gifts, they are busy thinking of how the public is going to think about the whole situation. Like my friend of mine wants to start a restaurant. Even after 2 years, he's just busy thinking about it. Now my question is, what is it that you want to start? What is it that's on your heart that you want to start pursuing? Is it traveling? Don't think of, if when you have a dream, you have a big dream. You need to have a big dream that even when you think about it, you don't even know how it's going to happen. But you know what? Chop it into pieces. You have a big dream, but start small. There's a quote by Abraham Lincoln which says, if I have 8 hours to do a job, I will take 5 hours sharpening the axe. If I have 8 hours to chop the tree, I'll take 5 hours sharpening the axe. Now just imagine. See, even as we are in the area of beginning, my favorite book says that do not despise the small beginnings. So just begin with what you have, where you are right now, and you be amazed of the things and the response of how it's going to go down. When I first started when I first thought of my YouTube channel, it was, I think that was 3 years ago, after college. But then I had something to say, but again I was busy thinking about how are my friends going to respond to it? Who is going to listen to me? I won't lie to you. Even as sometimes I think about that. But you know what? Just work with what you have and keep on working on your dream. You know, another thing we need to have is patience. You know, most of the things we want to go into business to make money so quick, forgetting that it's a process. When you look at the tree doesn't just when you put when you are a farmer, you put the seed in the tree or in the soil, sorry, and then you don't expect the tree to you don't expect the plants to be out or the maize to be out the following day. It takes time. It takes seasons. You know, there's a story of a bamboo tree. There's a question that is always kept on asking: how long does it take to grow a bamboo tree? Some say it takes 5 years. It takes 2 weeks for a bamboo tree to show up out, for the shoots, for it to show up above the ground. It takes about 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. But during that 5 years, when you are watering that bamboo tree, and then people are just looking at you, asking you, "What are you busy doing there? What are you growing?" You know. And then when you tell them it's a bamboo tree, and then they see 1 year later nothing, 2 years later nothing, 3 years later nothing, 4 years later nothing, 5 years later nothing, then a few weeks after. Then when it's when you are busy watering that bamboo tree, there are certain days you are going to feel so bad that you just want to give up. But as you keep on pushing, you keep on pushing. Some people, they talk about luck. In my thinking, there's no such thing as luck. When you look at all these great people who have made it, who have made an impact, let's say we talk about Mark Zuckerberg. When you look at when he was starting up working on his Facebook app, people we just came to know, most of us, we just came to know Mark Zuckerberg after when he made the big thing, when Facebook came alive. But we don't look at the struggles, the beginnings of where he began, the whole process was done, and then eventually when he is on top there, we think he was lucky to be there. But there is no such thing as luck. So I want to encourage you today. What is it that you want to work on? I encourage you, even as our dreams are big, but we just need to start with where we are, with what we have, because what we have is enough. There's a quote that says that what does the quote say? The quote says that do what you can, all you can do in that moment, because all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is more than enough. But make sure you do all you can do. So today, I just want to encourage you that start now with where you are. Whatever dream you have. If, let's say, don't rely on a job. Because at the end of the day, your job is it's all about the messes of someone was employed you. And jobs are good. Don't get me wrong, jobs are good. But while you are on your job, work on your gift. Work on your gift while you're on your job. Whichever field you feel you are called on, your gift, is it cooking? Your gift, is it public speaking? Your gift, is it writing? Even if no one is willing to read your book, keep on writing. Just start it. Just start with where you are. Like I said, like I said, the quote by Zig Ziglar, which says, "You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great." Do not despise the small beginnings. Like this friend of mine, like as 2 years from now, is still struggling to start this restaurant. And then yesterday, he just made a promise that he's going to work on it. By the end of this year, he's going to make sure he opens up the restaurant. He's a very good cook. It's like some of us where we know we are good at what our friends, we even hear our friends telling us that we are good. But now the question I'm going to ask you now, imagine with the gift that you have, you die with it. That book you have in you, you die with it. It goes back to the cemetery. You make the cemetery rich. I'm always reminded of Dr. Miles Monroe that rob the cemetery of your gift, rob the cemetery of your potential. Don't make the cemetery rich. Let's work on our dreams and just get started. If it's traveling, start small. Go to the neighboring countries. Go to the next city. And then as you travel, you feel that you can take it a step further. Then a step further. Then a step further. If you're starting a YouTube channel, just do one video. But make sure you are consistent. Do one video. Then and again, don't do something that because you are seeing other people doing it. Do something that is you. Something that speaks to you. Something that inspires you. Something that brings that fire burning inside you. That even when you are talking about, you feel the goosebumps, I mean, when I think of just a thought of inspiring someone out there, I just feel the goosebumps. When I'm talking to someone and I'm trying to make my thoughts across or to advise someone, the feeling of those goosebumps, it's so amazing. Where I feel this is where I belong. This is what I was born to do. This is my calling, just the calling of inspiring someone through my actions and through what I can do with what I have. Oh, that reminds me. So I've got a trip coming up, and I've not done vlogs in a while for the past few months, and few months I've just been so busy, and I just need, my mind to be out there before my exams comes up. So I've got a trip coming up. Guess where? Albania. I never heard of Albania. Like, if you had asked me if I've ever heard of Albania like 2 months ago, even a few weeks ago, not a chance. Actually, I was thinking of going to Turkey, but because of the restrictions and other issues and the visa issues and all that stuff, so I ended up going to Albania. So I'll be going to Albania this coming weekend on a Friday. And I can't wait for you guys to see Albania, just to go with me as we are going to travel together, as you're going to see Albania through my eyes, and I'm going to share with you the experience, which is tomorrow on Friday, which is on the... Tomorrow will be what? Tomorrow will be 5th Friday. Yes, on a Friday. So I'm very excited. As you can see, that's why I've done this is my new hairstyle, as you can see. So I just want you guys, this is what I wanted to share with you. Just get started with what you have, with where you are. Don't think about what other people are going to think about. What would be the views of other people? What would be the views of your family? What would be the views? At the end of the day, like Kimpo said, you die alone. You're going to die alone, and you give an account to the manufacturer alone. So when you think about your dream, even as much as your dream is big, start small with where you are, with what you have, because what you have is more than enough to get you started. Then as you go along the way, you find that you are going to get support without you even knowing it. So yeah, I'm just excited, as I'm busy just trying to put my things together, trying to put my luggage together, all those things. I'm very excited as I take over the world, as I travel the world. It's always been my dream. My dream is to travel the world, inspire someone out there. So even as you are watching my videos, it's an honor. It's an honor just for you to watch even just a second. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, or if you are new to this channel, thank you very much for watching my videos, and support me by clicking down below on the red section to subscribe, and make sure you click that thumbnail button for the algorithm, and also make sure you click that notification bell button for every notification of every video that I post every Thursday. And as I'm going to go to Albania, join me in this journey as we are going to see Albania. I'm very excited because 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, trust me, I never even thought of Albania as a country I will go to. So I'm going to, while I'm there, when I travel, I'm going to give you a little bit of history of Albania, the location of it. One thing I know for sure, it's in Europe. It's a neighboring country to Italy. Yes. And they've got amazing food. Though, according to what I've seen, the infrastructure is not that much as like of Dubai, but it's going to be amazing. From what I see and from what I hear, that the people are friendly. So we're just going to see, just going to experience that on this journey. So anyway, thank you very much for watching my videos, and thank you very much again. So I just want to, this is what I wanted to drop in your spirit, on your spirit, that you know what, get started with what you have, where you are on your dream. Just get started and let's get out there and inspire someone, as we are working on a legacy. It's all about legacy, leaving a legacy when we are going beyond, and not robbing the cemetery of our treasures, of our dreams, not making the cemetery rich. When you go to the cemetery right now, trust me, you know, I watched a movie where they were going to the cemetery of taking the brains. I know the brains are gone, but it was a crazy movie. But one thing I took away from that is, you know, as they were going to the graveyard, they were taking the brains of other people who are dead, like the leaders before, who used to rule the world, like Abraham Lincoln and all that. They take the brains and then they inject in themselves. Then eventually they are surprised of how brilliant those guys just became in a few minutes, because they took that, their thoughts and their dreams, and then they had injected them into themselves, and then boom, they just became visionaries. So my takeaway from that, what I mean to say is, let's rob the symmetry of the potential that we have, the things that, all the dreams that the manufacturer had put in us. I believe that no dream just comes to you accidentally. It was meant for you to pursue it, to follow it. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to assure you that. If you think it's going to be easy, it's not going to be easy. You know, all these great people who have made it, when we look at these prime ministers, we look at the presidents, we look at Mark Zuckerberg, we look at Bill Gates, we look at Mandela, we look at Gandhi, we look at all these great people, all these people we admire who are changing lives. It has not been an easy road. So even as much as we get started, I want to let you know one thing: it's not going to be easy. But easy is not an option. Easy is not an option. We are going to go after this dream. Every morning when I wake up, one thing I always say to myself is, greatness in me, wake up, show up. That's what we've got to do. Because we all have greatness within us. We are all made with greatness. It's like a seed. You know, when we look at the seed just the way it is, we can't see the trees that are in it, unless you see with the vision eyes of the tree, the forest in it. That's how we are. Inside. So, you know, when you look at someone, just don't look down on them, how they look, because of where they are right now, the situation they are going through right now. They might be doing something that you're not impressed with. They may be doing lousy jobs, looking dirty on the streets, all that. But inside them, there's greatness within them. And once that greatness shows up, you'd be amazed of what the great things they can do, the lives they can affect. So don't look down on anyone. You know what? Get started. You know what? It's high time I finish this video. Let me just wrap it up because, got to do something. Got to prepare for tomorrow. There's a long day coming up ahead. An amazing day of which I'm excited for you guys to join me in this journey. So get started. Get started. Get started with where you are. On your dream, get started. You know what? Got to go. Can't stop talking because I just feel like there's much more to talk about. But I just want to drop that in your spirit. Get started with where you are, with what you have. Because what you have is more than enough. Stay blessed.